Fans seem to be going in on Lamont Roach after his failed attempt to get the commission to reverse and somehow award him a win over Gervonta Davis. Ego thoughts. I told you I'm going back to the essence, back to the basics, and I want to talk about it some more. Now, listen, Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. It's so funny. I say these things in boxing. Some people agree, some people disagree. But the people who disagree, they always end up looking dumb because more often than not, what I said to begin with is kind of the consensus, or you'll start hearing more fighters come out and kind of shed their opinion, which matches what I initially said. So you don't really notice me as a content creator coming out and retracting a statement or having to correct it, what I said initially. And for me, I had Tank winning the fight. If you know how to score boxing, Lamont Roach simply didn't really do much in them early goings. In the first 6 rounds, he really wasn't doing much. And I have a hunch that if that whole weird freak accident, kneel down, chemical irritant, hair grease in his eye, if that never happened, I don't think we'd even be having a discussion on the outcome of the fight. But such is life and such is boxing. It did happen. And I think people used it really as a catalyst to get something going on the Gervonta Davis hate train. And they just did too much and try to make it like this was some sort of blowout because it was an emotion-filled rant and rage and hatred. But when you do that, you usually look dumb in the end because your baseline is nothing rational. Your baseline is emotion. And that's never, especially as a man, it's never a good place to be in. So the fact is, you can look at the CompuBox. They were separated by 9 total punches. Lamont threw more, but he also missed more. So what he landed was 9 punches away from what Gervonta Davis landed. And now you hear top fighters and champions and guys like Jerron Boots Ennis. He said, I thought Tank won. You have guys like Keith Thurman. He was on record talking about the fight, and he said he don't even want to see the Shakur fight, something that I said. He also said that you got to do more and make your presence felt to beat the champion, and Lamont Roach ultimately didn't do it. So a ton of fighters, now when the emotions have settled and they're on record and all wax, they're giving their opinion on Tank Roach, and they're ultimately saying what I told you from the jump. I feel very fortunate, my upbringing, the life lessons I've learned, that I've learned over the years to control my emotions and not let emotions lead me down a dark alley and look dumb in the end. There's a lot of content creators who I can't say the same for. There's a lot of low quality content in boxing, and you have people who, if you listen to them, they'll lead you to believe that this is a robbery, that it was a fixed fight, that the referee was heavily slanted towards Gervonta Davis. It wasn't that type of fight at all. Again, I think the freak nature of the kneel down and should it have been docked a point or not turned it into something that this fight wasn't. So I told you from the beginning, I did not see New York State Athletic Commission going back after the fact and changing any result. It just didn't make sense. And there was a lot of people that on Twitter mostly, they were trying to taunt me like, oh, let's see what you have to say for yourself. Oh, I can't wait to see your reaction when it gets overturned. Well, I can't wait to see your reaction, right? Where's your reaction? I want to see your reaction now. You see what I'm saying? If people trying to play stupid games, you're gonna win stupid prizes. Talking about, I can't wait to see Ego's face and I can't wait to see Ego's reaction when New York overturns it. Well, guess what? They ruled and they didn't overturn it. Now you, the Roach infestation and Lamont Roach, look bad. I don't look bad. You look bad. So it is what it is. Like for me, I think Roach would have been better off fighting the fight he fought to a draw. You weren't going to get Like, what did you really think was going to happen? So Tank is a A-side undefeated fighter, and the fight was close, and you didn't do anything crazy extraordinary. There was no obvious signs of like referee is paid off or showed favoritism towards Tank. You think they're gonna give you a belt? Like, take Gervonta Davis's undefeated record, overturn it without a PED test fail, no drug test fail, overturn it, give you the win, blemish his record, and then on top of that, give you the belt and say, hey, you deserve it, kid. Like, the Roach team, this was foolish. And I blame social media, because social media will gaslight you, and it'll gaslight you in the wrong direction. I told you guys from the jump that this was a dumb decision to petition this. You know how many other fighters have actually been robbed or wronged in boxing, where it was very egregious what happened to them, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The whole Tank taking a knee was not clear. It was very unclear why he did that. No one knew in real time outside of Tank why he did that. I don't think Tank's team knew, the ref, and Lamont Roach. So yes, you can argue and nitpick on how the situation was handled, but until you're in those situations, you don't really know how you're going to act on the fly. That is not something you see every day. It was not something that was expected or anticipated. So I think Steve Willis handled it as good as you can. He didn't know what was going on. He started counting, and then he's like, wait, I don't even know what happened. And then he found out what happened, and he didn't administer the count because he found out that he went down, and it wasn't from some kind of punch that put him down. So the ref, being the officiating officer and in control of that, he made an executive decision. So for me, it was always a lose-lose situation. And Lamont Roach and his team allowed the public to gas him up, thinking they had a case, and then you presented your case, and then within a week, they ruled against you. And now you got to do what Boxing Ego said to begin with, which was Tank already said he'll give you a rematch. He said he's not retiring. And, you know, PBC is never, in these situations where there's controversy, they never shied away from a rematch. When Mayweather had a close fight with Maidana, immediate rematch. When Jermell Charlo had a controversial fight with Tony Harrison or Brian Castano that ended in a draw, they did a rematch. Wilder Fury, Wilder was trying to get an immediate rematch, but Tyson Fury left, signed with Top Rank at ESPN, did 2 tune-ups, but then they came back to the rematch. So PBC has a track record of doing what's right, following controversy, and providing rematches. Recently, we just got Cool Boy Fulton versus Figueroa rematch because there was some controversy. Who won there? Was it Figueroa that should have won, or the person that won, which is Cool Boy? So PBC has been doing what was right in these situations where, you know, a rematch might be needed. So I think they'll make the right choice unless they had some other plan with like a Lomachenko or something that was already kind of in stone. Outside of that, I fully expect a Lamont Roach and Tank rematch. So to me, I think this whole thing was foolish from Lamont Roach. You never were going to win. Why would they, out of all boxing cases where we've seen Pernell Whitaker literally get robbed by Julio Cesar Chavez, you think you had a case here? It just made no sense, because again, it would set a nasty precedence for boxing. So the public can feel a type of way about an outcome. There's no foul play, and they could cry to the commission and get it changed. And then after the fact, they could start shifting around and deducting points when they told you in the fight that this point wasn't going to go against you or no point had been taken. That's wrong. That's foul. That's wrong. And it makes no sense. Like, imagine a game of basketball and they told you, the opposing team, that Steph Curry's three-pointer was worth 2 because his foot was on the line or past the line. And then after the fact, they said you initially won the game. And then they said, you know what? That Steph Curry 3 attempt, that really was a 3 and it wasn't a 2-pointer. So that's +1. They win the game. Like what type of what? just hear my analogy again. If Steph Curry shot a shot and it was a 3-pointer and they're like, nope, his foot was over the line, it's a 2-pointer and counted as 2 points, and then people said it was the wrong call or whatever people are saying with Tank Roach, and then later on, 2 weeks later, they said, you know what? We made a mistake. The referees in charge at the time didn't resolve it, and we made a mistake thereafter, so let's +1, and then now the Warriors won the game. It sounds stupid. And you know it, I know it, the Tank haters know it, but they're so full of hate, it didn't matter. But now they look stupid. So just push for the rematch. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that.